Which is better, a PC or notebook? Let's take a look at the advantages and disadvantages of both devices. The big disadvantage of a PC is that you can't easily take it with you everywhere. That's exactly what makes a notebook so ingenious. A notebook really has everything you need, except a decent mouse. Anyone who lives in a country that is plagued by power cuts or has to contend with a fluctuating power supply will love the benefits of a notebook, but also during very severe storms that cause a power cut. A notebook is perfectly adequate for normal work. Editing photos or cutting videos is no problem. For 3D applications, it looks a little different. It is just about enough for small things, but not for CAD or other applications that require graphics performance. A PC with a CPU with integrated graphics can also quickly reach its limit. If you can call a CPU and a dedicated graphics card your own, you can also play games on your PC. Games should not be played on a notebook, and anyone who still does so must expect their notebook to die of heat exhaustion. Only a PC is suitable for long-term gaming. The cooling capacity can be configured accordingly for the CPU and graphics card. A CPU and GPU in a notebook are operated with a low voltage. There are two reasons for this. Firstly, the cooling capacity in a notebook is limited, and secondly, the battery may not last long. On the other hand, the ratio of performance to efficiency is very good. For proper cooling, space is needed for a heat sink and a fan with a high airflow rate. Only a PC can provide this space. Due to the significantly better cooling performance and the higher voltage, a PC automatically offers more power. A notebook with a better CPU could provide more power for a short time, but only for a very short time until the CPU overheats. This leads to wear and tear on the CPU and other components. If this process is repeated often, it can lead to heat death due to constant stress and increased temperatures. A PC CPU with P-cores cannot be operated with a low voltage. Intel offers something similar. These CPUs have P-cores and E-cores that are operated with low voltage. Unfortunately, this solution leads to various problems. The response time of the E-cores is too slow and leads to problems. Intel does not voluntarily rely on this solution. It is the only way to prevent overheating with the outdated lithography and to keep up with the AMD CPUs. This topic was covered in detail in the Intel vs AMD video. The performance of these CPUs is significantly better in a PC due to the higher voltage and better cooling. A notebook with these CPUs is also sufficient for simple tasks and daily work. Simple 3D applications that do not require a lot of power can just about be operated. Everything else is and remains fantasy and wishful thinking, especially in a notebook. Simple games can be played with a PC version. The prerequisite is a decent cooling capacity for the CPU. The GPU takes RAM from the PC, which is not as fast as a graphics card. The consumption of RAM is limited and can be configured via the BIOS. The biggest problem with a CPU with integrated graphics is the small surface area that needs to be cooled. Neither the CPU nor the GPU can reach their full potential. Both emit a lot of heat and share the same surface area. The performance is more than sufficient for daily work with a PC or notebook. A dedicated GPU is perfect for all 3D applications. However, limitations must be expected with a notebook. A gaming PC is characterized in particular by a dedicated GPU. In other words, it is not a gaming PC without a graphics card. A notebook does not offer the space required for good cooling for the GPU. If you are really honest, a dedicated GPU is pointless in a notebook. The extra performance comes at a high price. A notebook can be selected with the hardware specified by the manufacturer. You can build a PC yourself with exactly the components you want. A notebook can only be upgraded to a limited extent. Some models have relatively easy access to the hard disk, RAM, and battery. With a PC, everything can be done: CPU, mainboard, hard disk, RAM, graphics card, and so on. You may be able to repair small problems on a notebook yourself, such as the hard disk, memory, fan, and battery. With a PC, you can repair everything yourself without any problems. A PC always has more power and the components can be selected. This means that the price-performance ratio is always better compared to a notebook. Some manufacturers have crazy price tags and promise everything. Anyone who has ever bought an expensive notebook for gaming can tell you a thing or two about it. The suffering and disappointment is great. If you don't know or don't want to hear, you have to feel. Attention! There is no such thing as a gaming notebook, even if the manufacturers and influencers claim there is. A CPU with an integrated GPU is also not suitable, especially for long-term gaming. Such CPUs have no place in a PC and certainly not in a notebook. If you don't want to listen or think you know better, you are welcome to give it a try. As the saying goes, experience educates. Thanks for watching and see you next time.